Roll up, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast Step right up and experience the magnificence that is the Two-Ring Circus Podcast. You'll laugh, and you'll be amazed at what comes next. Don't worry about the smell. It's just the stars of our show, Tom Italiano and Nat Bradshaw.
Look at to let you know.
What are you looking at?
Yeah, look, and then it goes blank. Look, there.
Ah,
We're on.
G'day.
Hey,
there you go.
we're at SAE.
SAE.
What's SAE?
Good question. A School of Audio Engineering, although it's not just engineering or audio
How am I going?
anymore.
You're a teacher here.
Very good.
Darren.
No, you're doing very good. Yeah, yes. No, excellent.
Oh yes, as previously discussed, Dom does all the heavy lifting in this thing. I just turn up, say some stupid things, and that's pretty well what's going to happen today, except for the
Great.
stupid things.
I'll say
part.
some stupid things as well.
Yeah.
This is our friend Darren Hulcombe.
Hi.
Darren Hulcombe is a lecturer here at SAE, the
Yep.
School of Audio Engineering in Normanby Road.
Yeah, in South
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Yes. Might be Port Melbourne. Not sure.
No, it's South Melbourne.
It is South Melbourne?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
right,
I have to
yeah,
look
okay.
it up every time I
Yeah,
come here.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Every
do.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use my GPS to get everywhere, dude. Because I like to know how long it's going to take me to get there as well. You know?
It should be an MPS. Map positioning system.
Good. It's
GPS?
gone well.
Yeah.
It's gone well.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll catch on.
So,
So we all know where Matt is all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah, exactly.
do you know those little, those tile things that you see on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've got a
Yeah,
similar thing.
Yes,
Every
they're
other thing.
so that you know where your stuff is. You put your tile on something like your dog, for example, and then when your dog runs away, you can find it with an
Tap
app.
the button. And
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it works as a social construct as well.
Oh, so you know
other
if someone's
people with
around
tiles-
town. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but if you've lost your thing, if you've lost your dog, then other people with tiles can also zero in on where your dog is.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
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 So someone gave me one some time ago, and I swear it's only so they knew where I was.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, this sounds like a very good stalker kind of
Yeah,
technique.
so I didn't use it.
No.
My
Give it to your dog.
my dad loves
Dog ain't much hard work.
the iPhone thing where it knows where you can track where someone else is.
Oh,
So, for
yeah,
instance, my mum will call my dad and say, "I'm just leaving Dom's house now," right? So he knows when to put dinner on. Because the thing is, like, mum will call him and leave somewhere, right? And 2 hours later, still won't be there, right? Because I just popped in to see so and so on the way. So he's decided. So I don't actually start dinner until I know mum's hit the end of this road.
So he's...
And so
looking
he'll
at
like
the
every
iPhone.
10 minutes he'll just check. It's like, oh no, she says she's leaving, but it's one of those long goodbyes. Yeah.
So there's an app called SkyScanner.
Yeah, for the airplanes.
The airplanes,
for the aeroplanes.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's actual real time.
Yeah.
It's not, this is when your plane's supposed to come in.
Yeah.
So anytime, like I'm really diligent about setting my phone to airplane mode.
Oh, yeah.
I used not to be, just to buck the system, just as far as, this is ridiculous. This plane is not going to go off course because my fucking phone's not switched to airplane mode. But then I ended up in Buenos Aires. So now, always airplane mode. Because Buenos Aires hot, steamy, and I got mugged.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
Did you get a good wax while you were there?
Brazilian?
Yep.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't wax.
No?
Do you know, I shaved today, and it was almost going to be a topic of conversation.
Shall I tell the story of the time that I saw you get waxed?
No, I don't think so. That's why while I was doing it today, I thought, we could talk about this in the podcast, but maybe we shouldn't, because Don will say, shall I talk about the time I walked on?
Do you want to hear it, Darren?
Oh, I have to now, don't I?
I'm going to tell my... Wait,
so you tell your-
SkyScanner first.
Yeah.
So the moment the plane is... No, I was going to say the moment the plane touches down. That's not true. While the plane is still about 500 metres in the air, my phone's out and I'm messaging whoever's picking me up to say, I'm just about to land. And my ex would always write back, yeah, I know. It's like, okay, that's fucking creepy.
Oh, because of the
Yes.
flight thing. Ah,
Yeah.
right.
I don't need
Of
people
course.
knowing where I am all the time.
Yeah.
Find your friends on Facebook.
Oh yeah, don't about that.
No, I don't do that.
Friends.
No.
Go on, tell your damn story.
So long time ago, actually around about the time when last time I actually saw you.
Yes.
Matt was at his girlfriend's house and they sent me a message saying, hey, come on over, we'll watch a movie or something like that, And so I ring the buzzer. It's one of those apartment building
And it
things.
was you and Daniel Fletcher, wasn't it?
No, it was just me. No,
Was
just-
it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
You may have been waxed a number of times. But
One time, because
Yep.
it was a horrible experience.
so,
And was this your
No, it
girlfriend
was-
doing it? Was she?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
right, yep.
Because I used to wax her,
Okay, yeah. Good.
and I was really good at it.
Uh-huh, okay.
I was really good at it.
I can
I was
also
really good at it.
I can also attest to Matt's ability at how good he was at waxing her because of one other time I opened his bedroom door.
How much are you at their house without announcing
No, this is so
yourself?
Matt and I were living together. So, all right, two stories. Second story first. Right, we were living together once, and we had bedrooms next to each other. We'd quite often just like knock, open the door.
Yeah.
Hey man, rah, rah, rah. So I knocked, opened the door, and I was greeted by
Hello.
Matt's girlfriend at the time with no pants on. And so yeah, you are very good
Legs
at waxing.
akimbo.
Yeah,
I think is the phrase Dom's searching for.
you are very good at waxing. It was
Yes.
rather impressive. The other time though, so I ring the buzzer, and then the door buzzes and I open through, and this particular person lived at the very back of this apartment building. It was just a couple of stories, but it had a courtyard and stuff like that. I get there and the door is ajar, right? And I open the
Because
door.
I knew Dom was coming, and I
Yeah.
didn't want him to, and I knew I was going to be busy.
Yeah. So I open the door and I'm
saying
like,
what.
where is everyone? Hang on, where is everyone? And literally both of them stick their head up from the couch. Here we are. And Matt's on his floors with his pants down and she's behind him. And like, absolutely like a scene out of something about Mary kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, the 40-year-old
It
version.
was
or whatever
really
it is.
good. Yeah.
So never again.
I bled.
Yeah.
Horrible, and ingrown hairs like you would not believe. So it's the only time I've ever done it.
Yeah.
Terrible experience.
Excellent.
And the itchiness growing back too. No, didn't have that.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Anyway. Are you sure you went with Dan Fletcher?
Yes.
Shit. In my head, in my brain box.
Don't worry, I can be sure that I wasn't with him. It doesn't mean he wasn't there.
Ah,
I can ask him.
I'm one of those people who's often sure about stuff, and people defer to me. It's like, remember this thing? And I say, oh no, that was like that. And for some reason, they trust my memory.
Your version of it.
But there's a lot of times where
It's wrong.
I'm probably wrong.
I do have a
Jedi
history
mind
of,
trick.
of conflagrating stories, absolutely. So I've got pictures of Dan and my ex and I
Waxing lyrical?
No. In that courtyard you spoke of, at that apartment block. Like one Australia Day.
Oh,
Australia Day bikini, not Dan.
I was going to say,
Did you see Rock of Ages in
Yes.
London
no.
with
In Melbourne?
Dan?
No.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Well,
So,
This is
anyway.
usually, our intros do usually go like this.
yeah, that's all right. That's
so
all good.
This is our catch up.
So later on this evening, you won't be privy to this, but later on this evening, Darren and I are doing some work together. Actually, why don't you start with that, and then we'll circle back to
Okay.
your current state
right.
of career.
Cool. So I'm doing a master's at the moment, and it's a master's of creative practice. So part of that is, I have to kind of write an album, but my research is on. This is going to be pretty boring though, but it's on music online collaboration.
Boring? I'm fucking singing on it.
Yeah, no, but I meant the actual research question.
worry,
not the content.
We'll be the judge of that.
Yes. So I'm doing research into online collaboration platforms and their effectiveness as music production tools.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
To do that though, I'm doing half of an album in the studio the traditional way, which is why Matt's here tonight to go in the studio. And then the other half of the album we'll do completely online, so we never are in the same room and we create the whole thing
Oh, that's cool.
separately. And then we kind of get together and work out what was good and bad about both, and does it sound like a full album, or does it sound like well, they were done, badly online, and these were done amazingly, or are they going to be an effective tool?
Totes talks.
So that's what I'm doing now, in between spare time of working here full time, doing lecturing in engineering and making other things.
How often are you here?
5 days a week, Monday to Friday.
Yeah,
So,
right. You're like an actual member of society.
Yes, I'm an actual member of society.
Wowzers.
So,
Yeah.
and for unusually, like when you say, "No, I can't," it's a school night. It's actually true.
Yes. Although school nights are like this, where you're still here at nights a lot of the times
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah, right.
I was here Monday night with another guy that's helping out with, like Matt is. We were doing other stuff for this tracks on Monday night, and here tonight, and then I'll be here Friday, I think, as well, doing something for it. But
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And Darren's married as well. He manages to fit all these things in.
Yeah. Well, I can't see my wife because she's always singing with you two.
Now, to be fair,
There you go.
we've only done one gig together.
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
She's good, man.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Oh my God, she's good.
Philippa, for those of you
Yes.
who have seen GeForce play, Philippa Loveday Hulcombe Harrison is the girl who sings with us at
Yes.
Groove.
Has she got
Yes,
like?
I'm punching above my
she-
weight. I know it.
Hey,
She sings better than you, so
has she got multiple
So
passports?
does your dog.
you could
No,
find
she's
him.
Australian
Who's that
citizen
fucking
now.
tile?
I
No,
thought she might have like Jason Bourne, kind of all these different names.
Yeah, no, she used to, but she decided to become. She's been here for over 10 years now. So
She still, by the way, however, has a yahoo.uk email
yes,
address.
she does. I know, which is interesting.
My new friend Catherine has a Hotmail address.
Yeah, still
So
got
do
mine. Yeah, I still got mine. I use it for all the kind of spammy stuff that you want to sign up for.
Yes,
This is how.
damn straight.
This
So
is
much
how.
porn.
This is how early she must have adopted it. It's her full name, just her name with no numbers.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you
Wow.
can't get
Showing
Matthew
our age.
Bradshaw at hotmail.com. I'll give you the drum.
Yes.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, me too.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've still got my Nostra Dominicus at Yahoo at hotmail.com.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Because when I signed up, the late adopter I am, Dominic Italiano was gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's more of you.
There's more of us.
Well, I was about to say, I remember signing up because Hotmail was the only thing,
Yeah.
and so you had to have your name and go, oh, I have to have my name as my Hotmail account.
yeah.
Wow,
That's cool.
I was working overseas. I was in China the first time. No, that's not true. The first time I heard of email, my goddaughter's mother, not Harmony, my other goddaughter, Rebecca, her mother was talking about.
That confused me.
I have another goddaughter.
Yeah, but your goddaughter's mother is Rebecca.
Oh my God. Oh, this is hard. Oh, I just had a break in the space-time continuum of my head. So, the first time she was talking about communicating with an ex-partner, and they were somewhat estranged. And she said, "So we do everything via email." And she worked at Flinders Uni, or he did. One of them did. I was like, right, okay. No fucking idea what she was
email
talking
was.
about.
Yeah.
So maybe that was 96?
Yeah, that's when I reckon mine was too, because I'd get one for work, like teaching at a
I got
school.
I got mine in
And-
97
yeah.
when I went to Melbourne Uni.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
So my first email address was, I don't even know what my name was, but it was at hello.com. That was a thing, yeah.
That's a thing, right, okay.
The bass player, James. I just said James, like you know him. You don't know James. He lives in Korea. Set me up with, and that was dial-up. That was dial-up in China.
Yeah. I had it
wow.
for work
Oh,
at
God.
schools because they were sending work emails. Like, what's this email thing? How am I going to get this stuff from work? And
I'm still getting emails from 1997
From China.
from China.
are you serious?
No. But it was very slow.
I'm slow.
That's my point.
Yeah, no, yes, exactly. I just realised that. Yeah.
So, you're doing your masters,
Yes.
but let's go back to the very start of Darren Hulcombe
Okay.
to find out how you got to that point. So, where you started, was it engineering to start with?
No. It's always been music. So my family were, my dad was a great drummer and my mum was a great piano player. So I was drumming from. Very young because my dad was playing 7 nights a week in bands in Brisbane.
What did your dad do?
He was a drummer. Yeah, he was. So and and he was kind of the big name in the big name cover band of Brisbane in the 70s. So he was working 7 nights a week, and like if John Farnham came up or someone like that, they'd be the backing band.
What?
Yeah, so they were kind of very big, and even to the point when the Eagles came out in 76 or whatever it was, they had to borrow some of their gear in Brisbane because Eagles didn't have enough for the show in Brisbane. So,
No way.
so they got tickets to a lot of those big shows and stuff like that. They were a cover band; they weren't an original band, but they did that. Anyway, so I was always, from 2 years old, I can still remember climbing up on big stages and hitting drum kits at sound check and sitting
Awesome.
backstage a lot at 3 a.m, watching all these people still, wondering how crazy they all were.
So you would have seen John Farnham when he was only like 48.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Well, I wasn't around for that particular show, but yes, only second farewell tour.
Oh no, I meant when you were 3 years old.
Yeah, no, I know, I'm joking. But so I did that, and then my dad left that though when I was still like 6 or 7 because he was never home. So it was kind of like the marriage was going to break up if you don't start being around, And
I wouldn't know.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But anyway, so he went into pipe bands because that's what he thought. Well, I don't want to stop drumming altogether, so he started being a pipe band drummer. And that's where I started getting. So my first kind of from 10 until 17, I was pipe band drummer.
Cool.
And won Australian championships and all that kind of stuff.
What?
Yeah. Just in pipe band, it's not small. It's a small population.
market.
Yeah, it's a niche market.
Wow.
And then
So for our American listeners, it's a niche market.
Yeah, and then so I started getting more serious. I remember actually playing in the pipe band, and then someone from the classical orchestra up in Brisbane was watching us play in the mall or something and came up to me and Dad after and said, "God, you guys are amazing. I'd love to learn how you do what you do." So I started teaching, and he said, "You should come and learn some classical stuff." So at sort of 16, I started learning off him some classical stuff like marimbas and timpani and stuff,
yeah,
and
cool.
then that led on to getting into the conservatorium at like 18, where I did a
This guy.
diploma of music, and then that kind of led on to working in all the orchestras. So I kind of had a backwards career. So when I was like 18, 19, I was working, with the Queensland Ballet and the Queensland Opera and stuff like that, not doing any rock stuff, just doing classical stuff. Then I moved to Melbourne as soon as I graduated, so 21, 22, somewhere around there, moved to Melbourne. Bigger fish in a smaller, small fish in a bigger pond. And again, even down here, started getting into the classical circles first. I wanted to become a rock drummer and a rock star, but didn't know how yet. So the only way to make money so I started doing the operas here at Opera Australia and
Wow.
the Australian Ballet and things like that.
Cool.
But I just got sick of because I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do. I could do it. But
So do you still read that well?
No, not anymore. Like it's like anything, you need to
Yeah.
practice it. It's like,
Okay.
but you don't lose the theory, and it wouldn't take long to.
Yeah.
It's, but you've got to practice it, otherwise you kind of lose it.
Because I think back to 3 or 4 years ago when I first started doing work for Harvest Rain Theatre Company up in Queensland, and they sent me a stack of books of music with dots on pages. Every good boy.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I read.
That's the saxophone song.
Yeah.
It's very slow.
Yeah. So but then at that same time when I was doing that, I met Marcella through Drax. I met Marcella first
Drax
somehow.
being?
Dracula's Cabaret,
Oh.
Is that what it is? Is that what you call it?
Sure,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And actually, that's a funny toy story too, because some things happen because they're meant to. So I was desperate to get into music again, like outside of classical. Okay, I knew it was coming.
Good.
Anyway, in joke. So I did this one gig, audition for this girl who had original bands, and got the gig, so played, and this gig had this girl had a gig somewhere in Toorak. I can't remember what the nightclub was called, and we all showed up, and there was me, a keyboard player, bass player, and a singer, and we turned up for sound check, and the sound guy was not there. So the singer, which I don't know if any of these people know, the singer was a guy called Richard Massionis, who I'd never met before. And the keyboard player was a girl called Tracy Lanigan, who I'd never met before. And the girl singer was a girl called Marcella Rosso, who I'd never met before. And the sound guy didn't show up, so Richard ran his mate John Foreman to come and do the sound for us.
For God's sake.
That's the best.
So that's really in that one gig, and the gig only lasted one night, like because the venue was doing like a tax write-off. They went, no, which one is it? And so we all kind of went, we did all this work for nothing, and then we all just, stayed connected.
What was the name of that band?
Oh, I can't even remember.
Okay, so you and Marcella continue to work together.
Yeah, so from that we all kind of went, well, I like working with all you guys, let's do something. So Marcella said to me, do you want to start trying to write some stuff together? So we did, and so that was my kind of foray into original writing.
Yep. And what was that act called? Oh, come on.
She Is Me is what first called, then it was Swallow after that. Swallow.
Oh, it was. It's called Swallow.
Yes, exactly. The bird. But so anyway, Marcella Rosso was so we started. She was in Neighbours for a while too. So but we started writing together, and I liked it. I liked what we were doing together, but it was hard. That was in the 90s. When you didn't have an chance to kind of publicise yourself anywhere apart from doing gigs, unless you paid lots of money to pay for someone else to do CDs, and the technology wasn't around to.
Because we talk now about how hard it is to try and make money in the original music industry. So it was hard in the 90s as well.
Well, yeah, but more even harder to get promoted. I mean, I think it's easy to get a following now.
Sure.
But
because
you're
YouTube's
not
free.
Yes, because so you might have thousands of fans, but no money. But we didn't even have thousands of fans because outside of playing that venue,
because it cost a bloody fortune to try and get your name out there.
Yeah. So, but we did that for about 10 years. I really wanted to give it a go, and we got close quite a few times, and it helped that she was in Neighbours. So we had a lot of kind of starts. But eventually, and we were getting to that point where could have almost happened, but we'd been doing it for 10 years, and I was a bit disillusioned about, I'm 35 now, what the hell's going on? You get to that age and we still had no money and was just living from day to day. And
Does that change?
Has it changed now? Well, it hasn't been.
I'm just wondering.
Well,
it
depends what you do, I suppose.
Future prospects.
It goes up and down, Because then what I decided, and again, my career has always been just fate and a message. So what happened was we'd just gone to the studio and we were writing like our sixth, album, whatever. And as you know, you start
doing full albums.
Well, we didn't get them released much. We had a lot of songs. We were very prolific with our songwriting. But back then it cost money. We only had a 4-track tape machine because of no technology.
Oh, dude.
So we would pay for the studio, and we got a lot of stuff done properly. But that was thousands and thousands of dollars to do that. So we wrote a hell of a lot of songs, and but then I was getting in a direction of the band and all that kind of stuff as you do fight. And eventually I remember having a fight with her one day in the studio about direction of a song. And, so this whole day wasn't fun.
Yeah.
And I remember going home going, well, that was a lot of fun. What are we doing? Is this really the way we're going to go?
10 years.
Yeah, and then by fluke I got a call from an old bass player friend of mine who was in town, and he was on a cruise ship in town, and he said, are you around? And I said, yeah, but I live out in the suburbs. You won't be able to come out, I'm not in town, because it was like 10 o'clock at night that he rang, and he said, where are you in the suburbs? And I said, I was in Preston at the time, and he said, I'm in Preston, and he said, I've got a mate, and I said, and he was literally around the corner visiting another friend, literally. So he said, I'll come round. So he came round. We had a beer, and he was telling about how great cruise ship life was as a musician, and I could read. So he was one of the orchestra guys where you need to be able to read. So every night we do a different act, and you just have to, right, that's done, next thing. So he said, you should audition. So I did. Well, no, I sent off my stuff to the lady in Sydney, whoever that was. And again, by fluke, coming back to John Foreman, I was doing I did, there was a TV show, Channel 10 night one with the working dog people. What was it called? The panel or something?
Yeah.
The panel. So I did that with Marsha Hines and Mark Holden, so the first iteration of The Voice, whatever it was called. But it was through John. So John had got me on, and I was playing John Foreman.
Australian Idol.
Yeah, Australian Idol.
Yeah,
Australian Idol. And so by fluke, the agent lady saw me that night on the TV because it was a live to air.
And she's looking at your thing. Going,
yes. So she said, and she rang me the next day and said, was that you that was on TV? And I said, yeah.
Come
and she
on.
said, right, okay, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? So the next week I was in New York, on a ship.
That's brilliant.
So I kind of left Marcella, unfortunately. It was a bit awkward. I kind of went, I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm sorry. And at the time, actually, I just said, well, look, we're not over. It's only going to be 6 months contract. I'll get some good money and we'll use it on the band to do the next thing. Yeah. Of course, that turned into... I lied. Well, no, to be honest, I know. But you're right.
It turns out he lied.
It turns out I lied.
So that's how lies work.
4 years later.
Sometimes it turns out that a lie turns out to be a lie straight away.
That's right.
Other times it takes 6 months.
I remember the band's name was Swallow.
Yes.
Go on.
So, that kind of ended. And the funny, it's how it all connects. So now, she started writing. The guitarist at the time was a guy that started to come into the band, but he was just helping out. Who happened to be Marcella's next door neighbour. That guy is Sean Gardner, who's the other singer who was in here on Monday night.
Awesome. Oh my goodness.
So he's still around. He was in a band called 2120 that he ran, I think still goes, doesn't it? A little bit.
I think it just come back.
Yeah. So
good singer.
Yeah, so he's on this project as well, and he was helping in Swallow, and so it was all. So Swallow took on a new breed after I left with Sean and Marcella. And I
Same band name?
No, they called themselves Lucy DeVille because another girl from Neighbours came on board. And I came back and played some drums on it, but I don't remember.
I can't wait for the third iteration of this band. Swallow, Lucy DeVille.
Yeah, so anyway, but I ended up going away working on cruise ships and, within that period met my wife, Phil, who you sing with. So that's why I was there longer because I was going to do so much and then I met Phil and went, I'll stay on doing this. And so...
So Philippa was doing cruise ships?
Yes, we met technically we met in Sydney, but really we didn't really meet each other till Tahiti, and then we kind of started dating in Tahiti. Okay. So, yeah.
I feel like there's something unsavoury about that. Yeah. We met in Sydney, but technically we didn't meet until, it feels weird.
Oh, well, it's it's only because I only met her at the, where the ship started in Sydney on the dock. And I was the drummer. So I just went, you're the dancers. Oh, okay, cool, nice to meet you, I'm the drummer.
Oh, she was the dancer?
Yeah, she was a dancer.
She wasn't singing?
No, I know. She should have been. She was just the dancer.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Anastasia?
Yeah.
That was her thing, she was a dancer.
True.
Yeah, and then apparently, something came along.
Yeah.
And it's like, someone heard her do some, kind of singing along or something. It's like, you're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's
sake.
Yeah. And then she was out of love.
So, that kind of stopped writing. So really, I didn't really write again, but I was overseas for 4 years, came back, but then by then, 4 years later, I met Phil. She decided to come to Australia, so we came back here. But in that meantime, all those circle of people obviously worked at Dracula's or knew the owners of Dracula's and stuff like that. So early on, like in the 90s when I was still doing the 10 years with Swallow, the owners of Dracula's would keep coming to our shows. So Mark and Hayden and all those guys were coming to Marcella and I's shows. So that's when Mark decided he wanted more live kind of element in the Drac shows, and he kind of said, do you want to be part of that? So that's how that came about.
Wow.
So were you the first... You weren't the first live drummer at Dracula's in Melbourne? You were?
Yes, yeah. So they bought the kit for me and all the stuff for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I should know this because by that stage I was
he's the director. He's the music director by then. Well, you were before then, I think.
Yeah. I'd been there for at least a couple of years before that. But the years blend into one.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
so I'd forgotten you were the first live drummer.
Yeah. So the first live... Apart from, there was always a little bit of live guitar. There was always that. So where they trying to expand it to other stuff.
You're the first Skins guy. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So and again, that was through my wife. So because my wife's English, and so when we came to Australia, she was like, well, what the hell am I going to do? Because I said, look, I know some people. I suppose I'm missing out. So what actually happened is, I'd been away for 4 or 5 years out of Australia, and not been here at all. And we came back in 2006, whatever it was, and Phil had never been to Australia outside of a ship dock. And so we were kind of like, well, what are we going to do? I don't exist. You don't exist ever. So I said to her, look, at least I might be able to get some part-time work somewhere while we get settled. And I said to her, I know these people that own this theatre restaurant. You might be able to get a bar shift or something.
Wait, when did you get married?
We got married in 2009.
But
we moved here in 2006.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. And
okay, but you got married on board or something.
No. So I said to her, look, I'll ring this guy and see if you might be able to get it under the thing, bar shift or something. Anyway, the week we arrived back in Melbourne, Brett Swain found out that I was back. and one of the lead girls at Drax had broken her ankle or something, and rang me and said, I hear your girlfriend, who we hadn't met yet, is an amazing dancer and singer. And I said, yeah, she is. And can she come in today?
Best.
She came in, and that week she was in the show. So like it was like not even a week, and she was in working at Dracula's.
Far out.
And then I got in with Pseudo Echo by that same thing, just by the fluke that was the time. I don't know what's going on.
You broke your drummer's ankle?
No, but Darren, whatever the reason, Darren wasn't around in Pseudo much anymore. He's back there again now, like he's the main drummer. But
Darren
Danielson, yes. So for whatever reason, he wasn't around much. Not Darren Hulcombe.
No.
Darren Danielson.
But also played in Pseudo Echo. I don't want that to just slip under the radar.
Well, it wasn't really. It was that. What's the '80s thing he did?
That's an actual Echo, by the way.
So it was.
When
Is it?
When a Darren
Is
replaces a Darren.
that is
Darren.
Yeah,
That's an
it
Echo.
is true.
It's not even a pseudo one.
And apparently we kind of look the
Actual
same.
Echo.
Actually,
That's my Pseudo Echo.
That's
Tribute act.
exactly.
Actual Echo. Fuck you, Brian Chatham.
is it just a repeat?
Actual Echo.
Maybe it's
That's great. Trademark it.
And got a drummer called Darren. Brilliant.
Well, yeah. The keyboard player wasn't Don, was he? Was it? I think it might have been.
I don't know. Was there a keyboard player?
Yeah.
I simply won't be replacing him playing keyboards.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Not unless I can go dun 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 dun.
Yeah. But that was just, it was actually more his tribute one, where he did it with Dale Ryder and Steve Terry and Pseudo. So they had their version of Idol of the 80s.
So it was a pseudo
It was
Echo.
another version. It was like the rival.
Pseudo Echo?
Yeah. But then he would do a couple of shows as full Pseudo. So we either did just mainly that thing or the full Pseudo Echo show, like one or the other, depending on what happened.
Yeah, right.
So,
Okay.
So I was just in the right place at the right time, because it was meant to be Matt Campbell. Do you know Matt Campbell?
We're probably friends on
Drummer from 80s Enough.
No.
Oh, okay. So I used to fill in for them a lot too.
Right.
Yeah. So I think he was meant to do it, couldn't. Anyway, I was at the right place at the right time. They needed a drummer that
We'll have
night.
a conversation off camera about that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so I turned up, did the gig, and what everybody should do though is I'd only got the call from Darren Danielson saying we need you. Met Brian, and of course Brian didn't know me from a bar of soap, so he was very like, who's this guy? Because he hadn't even heard him. Normally when you book someone, you've heard the name, you've heard the reputation.
Yeah.
Nothing. So he was very kind of, should I trust you to be doing this gig? So I knew I got that vibe when I met him. So I went home and I just spent the next 24 hours writing every chart out and everything note for note of every Pseudo song. Went and did the gig, and he kept turning around going, wow,
He
you got that
knows the
stab, you
piece,
got that
yeah.
thing, you got that thing. So then it
Awesome.
kind of was like, all right, yeah, we'll
That's
use
cool.
you again. And
Well, you love an adventure.
I can't think of a comeback. I was trying to think of a comeback, and I couldn't. Another song, but I couldn't.
Aren't you listening?
Yeah, oh,
Come on, dude.
God,
I
Dad
got no
Joke City.
I don't even know what band you're referring to.
I say, you say, weren't you listening?
And love and adventure.
Won't you take me to?
All right, go on.
Funky Town. That's it. And but while I was doing that is when Mark rang up to say, "Do you want to be part of Drax?"
Mark Newman.
Mark Newman. Sorry, yeah. So I
Producer
kind of
Draculus.
left. I mean, Brian. Well, I wasn't really doing it full time, but I kind of said, "Oh, Brian, I'm going to do this now, so I can't be called for any more gigs," and that was fine. And then the next, what was it, 4 or 5 years? I think, or 4 years.
Far out,
4 or
was
5
it?
Yeah, it was a while. Yeah. So then I was at Drax full time. So and then while I got to Drax, I was smart because by then I was older and went, well, I can't be a rock star when you get older, kind of thing. Well, not me anyway. But so I thought, what am I going to do when I get to 60? Like I can't be on. Maybe I'll be on stage, but I didn't want that to be a desperation because I knew a lot of drummers who were 60 who were saying yes to $20 gigs because they have nothing else they can do. And I thought, oh, do I really want to be, and having to be out every night till 2 a.m. And I thought, nah, maybe I don't want that. So the minute I got the job at Drax, I enrolled. Well, I'd already been doing a lot of studio work stuff before that, and in the studio, I didn't really know everything that the guy in the studio was doing on his Pro Tools rig, or why was he talking about compression? What was compression, and what is he talking about that thing? And so I thought, I'm going to go and enroll in an audio course just so I know what the hell he's talking or she's talking about in the studio. So while I work at night in the show at Drax, during the day I was here at SAE being a student. And then graduated from that, and the day I graduated from that, they offered me a job here, so I haven't left.
That's brilliant.
So,
How long was the course?
well, it's only a 2-year course,
Right.
but I spread it out because of Drax and
Yep.
everything, so I spread it out over 2.5 or 3 years, I think. you
Okay.
know. And I was smart because I thought, as long as you're enrolled in one subject, you still get to come in and use the studios.
Sure.
So I was like, why be here and kind of get freaked out by all the studios? And I stretched it out and really worked on that studio and worked in that studio,
Brilliant.
and you know. So,
Wow. Okay. Okay, that pretty well gets us up to speed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's such a fucking amazing timeline.
Yeah. So it's all been accidents. It wasn't. Nothing's been planned. It's just been.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge, in the music industry in general, I guess maybe in the entertainment industry in general, there's a huge amount of being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Being prepared for that
Yeah.
is good, important.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it proves my experience as well, which is don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Because like everything you've
Yeah.
just described is, I happened to be here and did this thing, and this person said, "Hey, why don't you do this?" It's like, well, that's being good at what you do is the minimum.
Yeah.
Like actually being a competent musician is minimum, but don't be a dick is really
Yeah,
the
well,
key.
I kind of, I might be a wrong analogy, but my analogy is, I kind of say to students, I hope I'm right, is it's who you know to get there, and that's good because don't be a dick.
Yeah.
But then it's what you know to stay there.
Yeah, okay.
So you might get that opportunity by someone knows you and says, hey, get this person.
Yeah.
But if you do a bad job, they're not going to ask you
Yeah,
again.
true.
Sure. But,
All right.
I mean,
I'm glad I've learnt that today.
I think you're both right.
Okay, yeah, right, okay.
No, because I think the continuum is still don't be a dick, because you get the gig because people are aware of your reputation and that you're easy to work with. And they're aware of your reputation because you're good at what you do. So then you get the gig, and then you're good at what you do.
Yeah. And you keep it.
And then you remain not being a
Yes,
dick.
if you're a dick, that's true, yes.
Yeah,
It can, because it takes you once being a dick, and
Yes,
it's all
I
ruined.
fuck one goat.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yep, no, that is true.
I never have.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Dick Goatfucker. Yes, your reputation precedes you.
Sheep, on the other hand.
Sheepish. Well,
Yeah,
Oh, that's what a goat is.
sheepish.
Yeah.
But their eyes go the other way.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't trust
they do
goats.
too, yeah.
Goats are ricky.
Ah.
And their milk. Goat's cheese, stick it back in the goat. That's what I say. So,
Disagree.
shut up.
But
Incorrect.
yeah, but you think that peanuts and chocolate shouldn't go together.
Peanuts.
Really?
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
I'm bracketed by two clowns. Look at me.
You really are.
No,
you
no,
know what
no,
you
no.
are. You're a left-handed leper in
My wife
the
would agree
Spanish
with you, though.
Inquisition.
She doesn't like chocolate and peanuts
I
either.
love your wife.
Yes,
I
I know.
like peanuts.
Oh, right. No, she doesn't like peanuts either.
Allergic.
No, just doesn't like
Just
them.
hates them. Good. That's okay. No, I like peanuts, but just don't sully chocolate with peanuts.
Oh, see, scorched peanuts, whatever they're called. You know, the
100%.
chocolate-coated peanuts.
Fuck. Okay. So, Christmas time, when
Yes,
you get that
Christmas.
jar that has sultanas and peanuts in
Oh, that's
chocolate.
a cruel
That's
joke.
mean.
That's a cruel
That's
joke.
mean.
It is. I only
Yeah.
want the sultanas.
Oh, you
No.
And the sultanas are slightly irregularly shaped. If you really look at them, so I can 99 times out of 100 I can pick the sultana instead
No,
of
see,
the
the
peanut.
other way. I'm
and
the other way. I
chocolate.
don't want the sultana.
See, most
we
people.
work well.
hang out at
Yeah,
Christmas.
exactly.
Most people would say, Matt, that that would mean that you and I couldn't be friends. But how I interpret this is that's how we're friends, because
Yin and yang.
you get to eat the sultanas and I get to eat the peanuts.
Yeah.
Problem is, it creates, which other people might be grossed out by, but because we're so close, is I don't mind if you bite through the peanut
find
first
out
to go,
and then give it to
yeah,
you.
one for you.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
We should road trip after you get one of those things for Christmas.
It is kind of sweet. To be honest, I mean, of course I love you, and I would never hesitate to take anything that you've taken a bite out of first. But also, I don't care very much about that sort of stuff. So last Christmas or the Christmas before, when we were having a party and there was a whole bunch of kids around, I had a couple of my tiny friends biting the ends off clinkers to find me all the pink
Oh
ones.
yeah, no drama.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because I really like the
I don't
pink
like
ones.
clinkers.
I don't like the pink ones, so there you go.
I don't like
Green
any
ones
of
all the way.
Yeah.
Nah, green's mean.
Yeah, pink.
Green are okay, but yellow.
Yeah. Ah, yellow, bellow.
Is that pineapple flavour or not really?
I don't know if they actually have flavours, but they are different.
Texture.
Yeah, no, they're the same texture, surely.
don't know.
Oh my God,
I don't
that's
either.
gone weird. So, very quickly then, not very quickly, take as much time as you fucking want, I don't care.
Yeah.
What have you actually got here? Because you said you managed to immerse yourself in a whole bunch of different kind of streams by virtue of only taking one subject and just being able to be here as a student.
Oh, yeah.
You were here for a long time.
Yeah.
So you got to really get...
Yeah, I mean, it's just
with
every
this and
student
that and
has
the
to
other.
do, yeah. So it's just, you build up here, like we start in a little mini, I think it's an 8-track studio, you know what I mean? So it's just so you build up and then you spend a semester on that and then you get to a 16-track and then
It's all digital though, isn't it?
No, so it starts analog, so you get the signal flows because if you don't understand the signal flow, then you're not going to understand digital.
Yeah, right.
So and then it builds up and then you get to digital and then you go from digital to a big digital and you go from analog to a big analog. So like tonight we'll be just in the purely analog studio.
What?
But it's a big,
How ironic,
64 channel
given the
one.
song.
Oh yeah, but
More on that later.
Yes, exactly. Analog digital. I forgot about that. That's right. And just there's theory of sound as well and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just about being in the studio,
Right.
but it is.
But we're in the room currently where you do movies.
Yeah, that's only just come in this semester.
Oh, wow.
So we used to do, this desk used to be in another studio, and we had this big auditorium that we're in now, this lecture theatre, and it doesn't get used that much, only when there's big lectures, which we don't do a lot of because everyone's in small studios doing projects.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of space going to waste. So we, as audio engineers, went, can we put our sound, because we got this to put the films on, and this is a 5.1 system in here, so we can...
We should do a gig here.
Yeah, because I was going to say, SAE is not just an audio school of
that's where
audio
it got its
engineering
name.
anymore, is it?
Yeah,
It
it
does-
started in Melbourne back
Yeah.
in whatever year as just a mini school of as an audio school,
I didn't see anything.
but it is now, it encompasses all multimedia. So it's really a multimedia school. So it, film, game design, game programming, web design,
Animation stuff.
design, like just design as itself, posters, animation. There's a post-production, stream and an audio stream. There's an electronic music stream.
Awesome.
So
I didn't mean to say electronic music was awesome.
No,
Saying as
the variety.
As a variety,
Yeah,
it's an
the
awesome.
variety. Yeah. But it's very different when I was a student.
EDMA.
You are.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I was a student here, it was very kind of. It was more theory based. Now it's better, I think. It's more project based. So we don't have many classes where you're sitting in a classroom with me going, now this is this and this is. It's really just, we want you to make a 5-minute song for this jingle.
Yeah, wow.
How are you going to do it? And then it's what they call problem-based learning, where they have to
Love
go,
it. Yeah.
I don't know, well, you're going to need this, aren't you? Oh, yeah, and how are we going to turn that? Well, I don't know, how are we going to turn that on? And it's like that kind of...
So cool. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's
maybe
how
I'll
it
go
kind
back
of
to
is
school.
now. Yeah.
And you've got a soundstage here.
Yes, out there.
Say that thing. Talk about that thing.
Well, I don't do much a lot, but it's great. It's a massive, a proper big soundstage. So it's half the size of a football field, I suppose, or something.
Yeah,
it's massive.
enormous.
Yeah, it's massive. And they do shoot, commercials in there, and there's massive sets going there. There was a car in there the other day. I don't know what it was shooting, but there was a whole car driven in there. And
Do you ever do pornos in it?
maybe we'll have to see. I've seen your. No, wait, that's where I've seen your face.
It's not my face. It's not my face you've seen, my friend. Yeah, it's my ass.
Had a face drawn on it though.
Oh God. Dom Little Arno.
Can you?
Nice.
Can you share this with your students? Is that all right? You
Share
allowed
what?
to- This,
Yeah,
this podcast.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah?
I'm not. Yes, again. I'll talk about that after the.
Oh God.
Okay,
good.
But yes.
Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll give them the stems and they can re-edit the audio.
Yeah. So obviously,
We'll do a remix.
My kind of specialty is more music post-production, and that's why my master's. It's not, music production, not the post-production. We've got another specialist, here that does that kind of stuff. So, and one that's electronic. We do all know the basics of all of it, but we all are there's bits that we specialise in. So I really wouldn't be in here myself mixing on this, although I could, there's the post guy that would be in here
Right.
doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's my kind of day job, I suppose, and I get Matt in quite often now. And so exactly what we do. Like Matt, I've got Matt in for my project. So as you know, showing the students how, not just how the studio works, but how to run and produce a song. It's not all about just plugging in stuff and hoping it works. It's a whole kind of psychology behind it.
How do you find working with Matt in the?
He's fine. We've been working together for many, many years. How long have we known each other? A lot of years. We've known each other for years.
Yeah.
Probably as long as I met you through.
Yeah, well,
Matt,
we were living together, so 2002 or 3.
Yeah, a long time ago. So
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
So
When did you move over from Adelaide?
Well, no, I moved. I guess I was back in Adelaide after being overseas for 3.5 years. So,
Right.
So 2000.
2000, yeah. So we met in 2000 then.
Far out.
So can I just clarify for people, other than working on your master's project,
Yeah.
so you will get Matt to come in
Yes.
to your recording sessions,
Yeah.
or classroom sessions
Yeah.
with students
Yeah.
to say, right, we've got
Professional singer coming in. Yeah.
and we're going to produce this thing, and
Yeah.
so now this is how to interact with a real
Yes.
human being who's a singer,
Yes. Yeah.
who you
I'm
might not,
interject just for a
who
moment.
you might not know. Yeah.
Darren used the word professional in that phrase, professional
Oh, and I
singer.
wasn't even thrown
And
off by it.
You circumvented it completely.
What do you mean?
You just said singer. A professional singer.
Well, to be fair to the students, most of the time that most of their experience, they're going to be working with non-professional singers.
And that's why we get Matt in as a professional, because that's what we do. Is because you're right, they do, and they don't know what high standard of, so
Yeah.
they think it's normal.
And they still don't. Trust me.
But they think it's normal that it takes 100 takes to get something right, and that you're still going to have to edit for 100 hours after
Yeah.
that to get something half decent.
Yeah.
Whereas we want to give them occasionally going, no, well, if they're professional, it should, and within the end of the session, it should sound pretty good.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, and Matt will you'll appreciate this. I met Matt around not much before you did,
Yeah,
I would
right.
say, and we started this original band,
Yeah.
and we were quite quickly recording an EP.
So this is Inside Zero, right?
Yeah. And we recorded the EP with Forrester Saville,
Yes,
who you
yes,
know.
yes, yeah.
And we did the vocals and guitars at my flat.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And so we set up the computer in the lounge room, and there was a spare room, and we put blankets around the spare room, and Matt was off in the spare room and doing his vocal for this song, and Forrester's going, fuck, he's really good. It's like he actually already has auto-tune on his voice. Because it was like, Matt sang his bit, it was like, you can do another take if you want. I mean, you don't need to, because it was like, the song was done in like
That's kind of cute.
4 minutes.
Yep.
It's a 4-minute song,
Yep.
and it was done. And we're like, do we need to do any more? And then, of course, then I get in there, and like every third word has to be punched in.
No,
Come on.
I don't think that would be true.
No, I don't think so
I think
either.
it was true.
But I had not done, at that point in time, I had done very little singing at all in the studio. And
Right.
actually, I had done 1 day's worth of singing in the studio where I did that EP.
2 for 1 dead end.
Yeah, so I'd done a band thing where I literally sang every song once,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever is on that, right? And then the stuff I do with Pobjoy, he had one of those Roland digital
the little
8-track things,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
and it was the same thing. I played the song on
yeah,
guitar and then
yeah.
sang it once, and it was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when they first came out. Fuck, I wanted one.
Yeah.
God damn,
I
amazing.
know.
I recorded the guitar parts and no guitar parts. I didn't do vocals because my mics weren't good enough. But the guitar parts for the first album I did back in Adelaide, of my own, on a program called Quad Studio,
Okay.
which was a computer-based 4-track.
Yeah.
Well,
But that would have been amazing at the
So
time.
much bouncing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But at least you weren't
And it was so
losing any quality.
I wonder.
Oh.
I'd like to see if anyone who listens regularly can give us some feedback, because we are now
Nerding.
into.
Oh, yes.
We're geeking out.
We're nerding
when you're in the
out, yeah.
studio and you do
Yeah,
this.
yes,
Quad
yes.
Studio.
Good
I know,
point.
true,
Bouncing.
true. But yeah, so Matt comes in, we do that, and it's just project based. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just to show them that that's the standard we could get.
Yeah.
You know, and so the students that Matt's come in for have been. They're only trimester 2. There's like 6 trimesters that they do, so they're at the very beginning of their kind of experiences, I suppose. You know? And we try but we do that with all the way through. We get
So 6 trimesters, you can do a bachelor's degree in 2 years.
yes, that's if you don't have any breaks and go pow. Yes. So we often get and it's all project based. So we also get Bobby Eggleston in on drums.
Yeah.
You know, to do some stuff and.
Do you find that, other than obviously just the audio type stuff, but I would assume that so much of what the students get out of that would be this is how to talk to someone you don't know, but you're trying to get a result out of.
Certainly, when I get Matt in for, that's what it's about. I mean, it's a little bit about the mics and why we're choosing that mic and not that mic and how do we mix, but it's actually about how do you deal with the artist from a producer's point of view and how do you talk to them and how do you get
I need
the
this
best.
vowel. I need that's not working for
or
this
just
thing.
not, and like we talk about all the time, is like not having, the mic on and going to everybody, God, he's not really good at that, is he? And all that kind of stuff,
and trying to instill in new audio engineers that it's as much about being a psychologist when you're working with musos in general, singers in particular, rather than just trying to get the result, that you actually you've got to massage egos because we're hard work.
Yeah, and I'm a bit selfish about it too. So the first time I got Matt in, we did a cover song, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did too.
And then, as the class progressed, I kind of thought, well, they're not learning the real experience of having to make decisions about something that's never been done before. Because with a cover song, they've got a reference point.
Yeah.
So I started writing a song just as an exercise, just to go, well, whatever will happen, and we'll put that in. So they had no idea.
Lots of plosives.
Yes. So I purposely put lots of plosives.
Engineered it.
To be very difficult and lots of hard things to say, so they'd have to fix them or hear what it is. And now that's turned into a song for the Masters. That which wasn't expected, but it kind of ended up being, okay, that's working.
So we'll have to check in with you later on. So hang on, what's the timeline for your Masters?
Well, the thing is, this is the mini version of it now, has to be kind of finished by October. But then the real Masters finishes October, November next year. Right. So the full album will be kind of done probably by November, I think, next year.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll check back in.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of work between there and then.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And so, to wrap up then, what happens for you, career-wise, from here? What do you see? I've got a friend who can tell you, but what do you see?
Well, I'm going to finish my Masters, and honestly, again, I don't make many plans, because as you've explained now, I never had a plan.
Yeah.
I just went where the opportunities were. So I want to see what happens when I finish this Masters. I like teaching here, but there's other things I'd like to do, and I've been teaching here for 5 years, but I've been in this building for 10.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking, okay, what would be then? But I don't hate it here, so it's not that. It's just, what do I do next? Okay. But when I finish the Masters, because I've never been pushed
happy
as hard.
but not content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. To be continued. I think the Masters will give me something that I've just got a gut feeling that will be opening up something that I don't even know what it is yet.
Doctorate.
So so just finish the
PhD.
Masters
That's
and
great.
see what happens.
That's such a great way to look at it too. No, really, I genuinely mean that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hope I sing well later.
You know why? Because I used to make plans and you never ever got what you wanted in the plan.
No, nothing goes to plan.
And so you
it
get
takes
really
twice as
angry
long.
at that plan didn't work, but then you stop and look back and go, but look what the fuck I did. But you were too busy going, I didn't do that.
Yeah, you're right.
That you didn't appreciate what you actually did. So.
You should be a teacher.
You should.
I've learned something, and I haven't paid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And interestingly for me, the only thing my Masters gave me was a huge exit.
Right. Yeah. Well, I've got that.
Yeah,
I've certainly got that. That's why I work here.
Yeah.
To pay it off.
Mate, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks,
I hope
guys.
you've enjoyed this, because I really
have.
have. And I've learned stuff. I mean, I've known you for 18 years.
Well, I've learned a bit about you today too.
Yeah, I know. Stop picturing it, you dirty dog.
Karate Kid.
I am too.
I know you are. I mean, how could you not?
Well, he did a good image before.
Could you not wax on, wax off around me, please?
But
I've never whacked
asking
off
me.
around you. Certainly not over that image. Maybe the girlfriend one that I walked in on.
All right,
But
Darren,
no,
I
thank you
have
for
to go to
asking me.
work.
Yeah, we've got to go to work.
No, absolutely.
That's right. It looks timing perfect.
I'm going to eat a steak.
Great.
Beautiful.
Good.
You're going to go eat steak.
You're going to go eat a steak.
Enjoy.
Jerk.
Well, I'm
Until
having
next
something,
time,
Dan.
thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you, Dom.
Pleasure.
Thanks, mate. Pleasure.
Darren Hulcombe,
Pleasure.
look him up. He's on the Facebooks. He's on the other things.
The other things. Yeah. Wanted posters.
Wanted.
Unwanted.
All right.
Friday biscuits.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
That
Well
was
done.
great. No, thank you.